time to decorate our Christmas tree. But not only are we gonna do that, we are gonna decorate our fireplace mantle, we're gonna decorate some shelves, and I'm going to be revealing our color scheme for this Christmas season. So we better get started. We're gonna begin at our shelves. Decorating shelves can be pretty hard, and so these tips will hopefully help you to decorate for Christmas. The items that I'm going to be using are pieces that I already have. The majority of them are items that I use year-round, like a marble tray, a large white ginger jar, and the gold laurel wreath. These are classic and timeless pieces. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with our marble tray. On top of the marble tray, I'm going to put this sage-colored mini ginger jar, as well as a few bottle brush trees that I've collected over the years. Behind that, I have my laurel wreath. Now, I love this gold laurel wreath. I actually purchased these at Ross, and they were really affordable, and they look like wreaths. So I thought, this is perfect. I will leave them just as is. And then to my white ginger jars, which I purchased at Home Goods, what I'm gonna do is take a star ornament, and I'm simply just gonna drape it around the top of the ginger jar. To this star ornament, I'm going to add some frosted leaves and gold berries. And then at the top of the ornament, I'm going to take this sage and gold ribbon, and I'm going to tie it into a bow. Once I was done with this side, I moved on to the other side, and I did the exact same thing. I got a tray with some bottle brush trees, a mini ginger jar, and then I jazzed up my large ginger jar. The only difference is on this side, I have a large white plate behind my laurel wreath, but besides that, they are identical. Now we're gonna move up one shelf to the top, and to the back of these shelves, I have some mirrors. And what we're gonna do with these mirrors is we're gonna put a wreath smack dab in the center. We are going to create this wreath with a pretty flimsy, cheap Walmart wreath. I've had it for a long time, and I'm going to flatten out those branches. I bent half of the branches one way and half of the branches the other. So now I have a space in between those flattened out branches to put another wreath, which is what we're gonna do. I got these gold bottle brush wreaths at Five Below, and they were only $3. So I placed that bottle brush wreath in the center of our pine wreath, and I'm going to attach them together with my favorite crafting tool, which is my fishing line. You guys know I love this stuff. So I took some fishing line and I wrapped it around both wreaths and then tied it into a knot. To the center of my wreath, I'm going to add a sparkly crystal snowflake. So what I'm gonna do with this is take my fishing line and I'm gonna thread it through the hole in the top of the ornament and then tie it around both wreaths to secure everything together. Then I got that same sage and gold ribbon and I tied it into a bow, and then I attached it to my wreath with that fishing line. And finally, I took some mini gold ornaments and I placed those sporadically throughout the bottle brush wreath. In order to hang these wreaths in the center of these mirrors, what I did was I got a command hook and I placed it right on the tippity top of the frame in the center of these mirrors. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see. Then I took my fishing line and I slid it around the command hook, and now my wreath can drape down in front of this mirror. I created an identical wreath for the other side, and I did the exact same thing. I put it on the command hook and let it drape down in front of the mirror. And then I created one more wreath. This is a larger wreath. It has a larger pine wreath. I'm still using the same bottle brush wreath for the center, but the outside wreath is much larger. Why? Because we are going to be putting it in the center shelf above the TV, and this is a larger space. So I did the exact same process as I did on my other wreaths. The only difference is I put the gold ornaments on the pine wreath as opposed to the bottle brush wreath. Now to hang this wreath up, I'm going to be getting some fishing line, but this time I'm going to use a tack. This is a transparent tack, and I wrapped the fishing line around the tack, and then I just popped it right into the top of the shelf. And now my wreath can hang down. Oh, and I almost forgot. Instead of using a crystal snowflake ornament like I did on the other two, I'm going to put a large white star in the center of this wreath. To go on either side of my wreath, I thought it would be fun to hang some gold snowflakes. So I wrapped some fishing line around these snowflakes and I popped them into the top of the shelf with those transparent tacks. So even in the wintertime here in Florida, we have the air conditioning on. One benefit to having that air conditioning blow on these snowflake ornaments is that these ornaments twirl and they look like they're snowflakes just blowing magically in a storm. In front of my wreath, I have a nativity, and I really wanted to put it right smack dab in the center because I want this to be the focal point because it's what is important to me at Christmas time. And then on either side of our Holy Family, I placed some glass Christmas trees. I purchased these at Target last year. I put 2 on each side, and now everything is symmetrical and everything is just perfect. These shelves were decorated so simplistically. I used things that I had already and I just added some holiday flair to them. And then I took some inexpensive wreaths and I just put them together to make them look fuller and lush and hung them in front of some mirrors. These are some simple decorating ideas that you can easily implement into your own holiday decorations. It's time that we reveal our color scheme for this holiday season. Now, if you haven't already guessed by seeing our shelving, our color scheme is going to be a light sage, a white, and gold. Now, what inspired me to pick this light sage accent color was going to after Christmas sales at Michael's. Their ribbons were 70% off, and I loved these sage colored ribbons. I purchased a whole bunch of different varieties, different thicknesses, different sizes, and I did it for a very affordable price. So because I've had that accent color in my mind since last Christmas, I've been able to gather up things throughout the year, like those sage colored ginger jars. I've got some other decorating elements that you will be seeing as we go through and decorate other rooms that I've been able to pick up throughout the year. But because I had my color scheme in mind, I could think about it all year long and I could gather up things to help me decorate, which we are doing right now. So I'm so excited. So speaking of decorating, let's move on to the tree. I've never had a flock tree before. I've always just had green pine trees, but I've always wanted a flock tree. So I found a beautiful flock tree on the Costway website. They sent me my flock tree so quickly. It was between 3 and 5 days. It showed up right at my front door. It was packaged beautifully. I was able to unbox my beautiful tree and put it together so easily. I simply put together the base and then I popped in 3 different segments to create a 9-foot tall tree, which is just so stunning. And I needed a tall tree in this space because of the ceiling height. I fluffed out the branches and I absolutely fell in love with the flocked snow on all these branches. It looks so realistic. It's just simply gorgeous. They have a huge selection of trees on the Costway website. They have short trees, they have slim trees, they have tall trees like mine, they have regular pine trees, they have flocked ones, a huge variety. And the best part about these trees is that they are very affordable. They come in a variety of price ranges, so you can select one that fits in with your budget. I strung the lights on my tree, and this year I went vertically. I just went up and down, which made this process go twice as fast because I wasn't fighting with the string of lights as I was wrapping it around the tree. So that's a good tip. Try and hang your lights vertically this year. And the lights on the tree just enhanced the flocked snow so much more. It made it shimmer and shine and look like real snow. And I love that this tree is neutral because it will make all the ornaments of the ribbons and everything that we're putting on it pop. So if you're looking for a new tree this holiday season and you need it to your house in a jiffy, then go to Costway and look at all the amazing selection of trees that they have there. And to make things even more affordable, I have a 15% off coupon. I love coupons because I love saving money, especially during the holiday season. So I will leave a link to the Costway website, and this coupon code will give you 15% off site-wide. So go find yourself some wonderful holiday treasures. Now that our tree is assembled, we are going to add some ribbon. I have 3 different ribbons. The first is a large white ribbon, and then I have our sage and gold ribbon, and then the third is a snowflake ribbon. It has gold and silver, so it will tie all kinds of metallics together. So I made a loop with these ribbons and I attached it to the top of the tree with some floral wire. Then I'm going to cascade this ribbon down the tree. And every, I'd say 2-ish feet, I took a branch from the tree and I wrapped it around the ribbon to hold it in place. I simply continue to drape the ribbon down the tree, which adds such a beautiful touch while also establishing our sage white and gold color scheme. Now that our ribbon is in place, we are going to add a variety of Christmas botanicals. I have frosted leaves, white poinsettias, other wintry white flowers, gold berries, and then I also have some lamb's ear. Now, the lamb's ear isn't a typical Christmas botanical, but because I knew that I was going to be using this sage color, I thought that the minty color of the lamb's ear would go perfect. So I made sure to get some extra lamb's ear after spring so I could save some money on those. So I'm going to take all of these beautiful botanicals and I'm going to add them to my tree. Now it's time for the ornaments. I have a huge variety of ornaments that I'm going to be using. I have, of course, just our traditional round ornaments, but I also have some feathered ornaments, some sparkly crystal ornaments, metallic ornaments, ornaments with pearls on them, just a large variety of beautiful ornaments that I've collected over the years, and I hung them on my beautiful tree. At the base of my tree, I'm going to be putting a tree skirt. I love this tree skirt. It is from Ross and it was under $30. It's a white color and it's got these beautiful pearls on it. And as you'll see as we decorate throughout this season, we're going to have that recurring theme of pearls. And I love that this tree skirt is going to tie that pearl element into our decorating. The way that this tree looks just exceeded my expectations. You know how you think that something's gonna be good, like a sage green ribbon, but you're not 100% sure? Well, I'm 100% sure now. I love that element in here, that sage green color with the lamb's ear and the frosted leaves and the frosted tree. This tree is very neutral, it's soft, it's elegant, and we packed it full of all kinds of botanicals and ornaments and ribbons. It looks so expensive, so high-end, but we really did keep it on a budget. And I couldn't be happier with the way that this completed Christmas tree looks.
How come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant?
It's time to move on and decorate our fireplace. Now, this is one of my favorite places to decorate every single year, and every single year I come up with a different design for the garland. Now, believe it or not, I have never hung stockings from my fireplace mantle. Shocking, right? And the reason is because I always do like an elaborate garland, and I just don't have space for the stockings. This year, I am putting stockings on my fireplace. And the ones that I found were actually from Ross, and they were only $5.99 a piece. They have those pearls on them, which is perfect. It coordinates so beautifully with my tree skirt and all the other pearl elements that we're going to be adding to our decorating. So because I'm hanging my stockings, this year I'm keeping my garland pretty tight to the top. So I took my garland that had already been strung with lights and I put it just over the top of my mantle. Now, on my mantle, I have screws on either side. Years ago, I added some screws because my garlands are so heavy that the command hooks just wouldn't keep it up. So I had to add some screws. So I've got one on either side, and in the center, I have a command hook just to kind of keep everything from falling over in the center. It doesn't carry a whole lot of weight. So I got my garland up, and then I took some beautiful lamb's ear, some gold magnolia leaves, and some other gold leaves, and I'm going to just put them sporadically throughout this garland. The lamb's ear adds that beautiful sage color. Now, because our tree is flocked, I wanted to add some flocked pieces to my garland. Last year, we made some flocked pieces to go in our topiary trees, and so I had those extra flocked pieces from last year, and so I just added those to my garland as well to brighten it up a little bit more and to tie in those flocked elements. Now that all of our botanicals are in place, we are going to add these beautiful ribbons, the same ribbons that we've been using in all of our spaces throughout the room. So I just took that white ribbon, the sage ribbon, and the snowflake ribbon. I put them together and created a bow, and then I attached them on either end of my garland. Next, I added some white poinsettias and some gold poinsettias, and then a large frosted flower in the center. And then I just went to town and added all kinds of ornaments. I added some pearl studded ornaments, gold ornaments, satin round ornaments, snowflake ornaments, and then on either side, I added a large white tassel. The final touch is to add some more of those gold berries sporadically throughout the garland. This is a great filler. These berries will fill in any vacant spaces. And now we are completed with our gorgeous Christmas garland. I love the way it looks. I love that it is up high so that it can highlight those stockings that are hanging down. Now, my daughter did ask me, when Santa comes down the chimney, what are we gonna do when the stockings are in the way? And I said, well, don't worry about that. I'll tell our elf on the shelf flower to move those out of the way before Santa comes down the chimney. That way he can make his entrance into the room very easy. One other tip I'm gonna give you is how I hid my cord, my electrical cord, because you don't wanna see any of that. So what I did was I got some command hooks, some smaller ones, and I just placed my electrical cord right inside of those command hooks. I took it over to the wall and then I let it drop down behind my drapes so you can't really see the electrical cord. Now on top of my mantle, I'm going to be adding some large gold mercury glass candlesticks, but I didn't want to leave them plain, so I'm going to add some bows, and to the bows, I'm going to add the same frosted leaves and gold berries to the center. And then in the middle part right here, I've got some large cone Christmas trees. They're white and they have this pretty sparkly, shimmery top that looks like they're flocked with snow. These trees add a lovely winter element to my fireplace mantle. And now we're finished with our mantle decorations. I love how classy this looks. It's timeless, it's elegant, and I'm overjoyed with the color scheme. We have the same color scheme on our shelves, on our mantle, on our tree. And they tie together because we use the same elements in each one of these areas. We have the same ribbons. We incorporated the same greenery, the same ornaments, the pearls and the sparkly snowflakes. And by doing this, it ties each of these spaces together. Well, our Christmas decorating has just begun. We have this small portion of this room taken care of, but we have so much more coming up. I am so excited. We're gonna be doing the kitchen, we're gonna be doing the dining room, the foyer, all kinds of other little vignettes. And I just am so excited for this holiday season. And I wanna share all these with you, so make sure that you are subscribed so you won't miss out on any of it. If you're looking for Christmas decorations, head on over to Costway and look and see all the magical things that they have. And remember that coupon code so you can take 15% off site-wide. Well, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for watching.